Welcome back to another edition of Tailgate on the Quad on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. I am here, as always, with Kieran. Kieran, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. College football is almost done, which is sad, but still got the rest of the playoffs to go.
A few more weeks left, thank God. I don't know if I'm ready to give it up. But while we're kind of waiting for the inevitable college football season ending, I'm looking at things to do to pass the off season.
Okay.
There's other sports I could watch, but I fill the time really with video games, TV, some movies. And I have a question for you, Kieran. Do you watch Euphoria?
No.
And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the co-hosts was like, "Oh, I'm on my Euphoria rewatch," and it raised the question: what is that show's target audience? And if you don't care about Euphoria talk, we'll have chapters on YouTube and in the podcast, so just go down there and watch or skip ahead. But it's about teenagers doing drugs and having sex, from
Okay.
my base understanding. What parent is going to be okay with their child watching that? And anyone over the age of 20 watching it needs to be put on a list. So who is that show's target audience?
I genuinely don't have an answer for that.
It's weird. It's just weird. Adults who are way too into it, adult men who are way too into it, especially need to be put on a list. The women, like some of the smut books that women read, it's about like dragons and stuff. Like I'll sort of give them a pass for liking Euphoria, but if you're an adult man over the age of, I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt, 21, if you can legally drink, stop watching Euphoria.
Okay. I mean, sure, but I swear to God, I thought this was going to come back to college football. But is that just his take?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, it was just a podcast that I was listening to while driving. And Francis, if you're listening to this, stop watching Euphoria. It's weird.
I swear I thought this was going to come back to CFP somehow, but apparently not. I am so out of the loop. Kev does these like weird topics, these one-off topics where I'm just like completely out of the loop, and he's just gonna like fire me a question, and I'm expecting it to somewhat relate to college football, but I have nothing, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's unrelated to college football entirely.
Yeah, seriously.
It's something I thought about. Unfortunately, I do like the fact that we're very college football focused with shenanigans, but sometimes I just wish I had a show where I could talk about how weird I find Euphoria.
You can just text me those things. We don't need to do it on a podcast.
I think we do. I think
okay.
If we can prevent one person from watching Euphoria,
yeah, we've done
one adult man watching Euphoria, I've done my job.
All right.
I have accomplished what I set out to do with this podcast. That might have been started for Euphoria. I don't know what the first season was because I'm an adult man.
Yeah, I know of it. I know it exists, but other than that, I don't know anything about it.
I know 3 things about it, Kieran. Well, I know 5 things about it.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney's in it.
We're off to a good start.
Zendaya's in it.
Okay.
One of the actors died.
All right.
Jacob Elordi's in it. That's a 6th thing.
Okay.
And it's about high schoolers doing drugs, and it's about high schoolers having sex. That's all I know about it.
Okay. That's interesting.
So, yeah, stop watching Euphoria. Just, if you want to watch something with Zendaya in it, go watch Spider-Man. Go watch Dune. If you want to watch something with Sydney Sweeney in it, go watch the movie she did with Glenn Powell or American Eagle ads. And if you want to watch something with Jacob Elordi in it, go watch Frankenstein.
Okay. Good to know.
So, see, all right, we can move on to college football now. I just had to get that out of my head.
Okay, sounds good.
And we're moving on, Kieran, to what might have been Game of the Year?
Possibly.
Game of the Decade?
I mean, as of right now, yeah.
I would say it might be game of the 2020s, and a lot of people are going to be upset about that. But of course, talking Illinois State versus Montana State in the FCS National Championship.
What a game.
What a game. I'm a little upset.
Yes.
I was riding with Brock's back and his glorious mustache. That I don't like how I phrased that. Great Cinderella story. We're all focused on Indiana. No, it's Illinois State, unranked, going into the playoffs, going on a run. Oh, well, North Dakota State's going to smack them around. Oh, well, UC Davis has the offense to put them out of their misery. Oh, but Villanova's here. They haven't lost at home. They're going to win. Oh, shit, it's the FCS Championship, and they're playing Montana State. It got a little hairy there at the beginning when they were down 14-0 and then 21-7, but they came back, Kiernan.
They did. They certainly did. That was an incredible performance all around. I'll say that now. Like, every player was brilliant. From the offensive line to the defensive backs, everyone was really, really good. So we'll start with that.
Oh yeah, and a rough week for kickers though.
Oh, yeah, very true.
I'm not necessarily saying Illinois State's kicker it's his fault, but I mean he gets the kick block that really kind of I don't want to say lost them the game.
No, it did. It did.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm trying to be nice to these kids. But then you have, obviously, in the NFL, the Ravens kicker this past week, too. Rough week to be a kicker.
Yeah.
But no,
the Ohio State kicker.
Yeah, a rough week. Rough week for kickers all around. Illinois State should feel good about themselves.
100%.
Montana State was a wagon this year. I do like one of their players, Taco Dowd, got his nickname because he saw a Taco Bell sign and pointed to it and said, "That's my name now," when he was a kid.
Phenomenal.
These are the kinds of things you don't get at the FBS level.
No.
This is an FCS special, and I wanted to buy a jersey for Illinois State for their quarterback after this postseason run. I'm not buying a jersey that says Rittenhouse. I'm sorry. I refuse to have that name, regardless of how I feel about it. Like, that's just something that people will take politically. People either be giving me high fives or spitting on me in public, and I just want to be left alone. So we're not buying a Rittenhouse jersey.
There's a Rittenhouse Square in Center City, Philadelphia. It's like a little neighborhood.
Ken, I have a great idea for a podcast.
Go
to Rittenhouse Square.
Yeah.
We buy Tommy Rittenhouse jerseys.
Yes.
And we interview Kyle Rittenhouse.
Do you think he knows ball?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Otherwise, like, just guns are his personality. And
yeah,
I don't know if just having college football and apparently hot takes about Euphoria as your personality is much better. But here we are. We're here. So, and then, Kieran, would that be Rittenhouse cubed?
It would that be yes.
To the 5th? Because we're in Rittenhouse Square already.
Oh,
so that's 2.
Good point. Yeah. Are we both wearing Rittenhouse jerseys?
We're both wearing Rittenhouse jerseys.
Yeah, it'd be to the 5th.
It's to the 5th power. Wow. Yeah. We got to get on this, Kieran. We're not doing this.
No, but it's a funny idea.
I'm down for 4/5 of this. I'm down for 80% of this plan. There's 20% that I'm like a hard no on.
Much like watching Euphoria, hard no.
I'm 100% out on Euphoria. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah, it made it pretty clear.
I'm glad, though, that I didn't come on and go like, "Oh, Kieran, do you watch Euphoria?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's my favorite show."
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have gotten real awkward real fast, and I don't know if the show could have recovered.
Yeah, if college football wasn't dead, I certainly would be.
I don't know if I'd kill you over it. But yeah, no, the podcast might be dead.
Yeah.
If that were the case. If you just loved Euphoria, and not like you watched an episode or two, if you loved it,
yeah,
that might be wraps.
Yeah.
All right.
It is weird. All right.
Speaking of wraps,
yeah.
Oh, do you have Do you have more things to say about
Well, I
Euphoria,
mean, we
Kiernan?
can go off the Raps comment. I mean, to send a championship game into OT, however it happens, blocked field goal or whatever, is just incredible. But Montana State, that final touchdown to was it Taco Dollar that got the final touchdown? I think it was.
It might have been.
I thought it was,
No.
but regardless, that's just incredible.
Yeah, no, it was great. Great season all around. I feel like obviously Illinois State was the underdog. Montana State was the heavy favorite. They were number 2 in the preseason polls. They were number 2 going into the playoffs, but they hadn't won a national title since 1984, the first season of the FCS playoffs. Illinois State had never won one. I feel like you can't go wrong with who you're going to root for in this, and obviously fans who are entrenched in the FCS and these two schools will have a differing of opinions, but I do think that seeing either school win would have been nice.
100%, yeah.
Also, Montana State's jerseys are so, I don't want to say simple because that sounds like an insult, but they're
Sleek.
so clean.
Yeah, they're sleek and clean, yeah.
I'm a big fan. I also, a lot of stickers for Illinois State. I understand schools do this, but they stood out a lot on those white helmets, and it was a lot.
It's so funny you should mention that because my wife just goes, who do they think they are? Ohio State? Which was a fair comment.
I wonder who started doing it first.
Oh God, I have no idea.
I hope it's Illinois State. That'd be so funny.
Oh, just between like Ohio State and Illinois State, or
in general,
or in general. Oh, that's a good topic. We can do that like next week or during the off season. Who came up with?
Oh, history of different jersey things.
Ooh, there you go.
Like history of the crop top jersey. It was Ezekiel Elliott. All right. You want to move on to the FBS playoffs?
Yes. A much bigger shit show.
Yeah.
It was rough.
We'll start off with the Cotton. What?
It was rough.
It was. We'll start off with the Cotton Bowl, Kiernan. I think we were both wrong, but also we were right. Because I think we both picked Ohio State to win.
Yep.
But I did make a comment when it was announced Ryan Day would be taking over play calling duties. I said, congrats, Miami, you're moving on. Mm-hmm. Because Ryan Day is an abysmal play caller. And that really showed in this game. Julian Sayin, who was there in New York, looked lost out there at times. They couldn't get anything going. They had like 10 minutes in the game, maybe 5 minutes of game time where they looked decent when they scored those back-to-back touchdowns in like the late third, early fourth. You're like, oh, they might make a game of this. And then Miami just ran out the clock and scored a touchdown, and it was wraps.
Yeah, it was. And it was also weird that we were dead wrong about Carson Beck throwing five interceptions. Like the Ohio State did not look like Ohio State out there. Like I thought, sure, they went down early in the game, and I'm like, yeah, but it's Ohio State. Like they're just gonna come back. It's fine, whether it be a defensive turnover or Julian Sayin throwing a touchdown or whatever. I wasn't at all nervous for Ohio State up until about the fourth quarter, where I'm like, all right, you guys have seriously got to start playing better if you even want to come close in this match.
Yeah, if you want to make it respectable. And I do have to issue an apology. We talked a lot of shit last week, and they proved us wrong. So I'd like to issue a formal apology to Jared from the corner booth.
Yep.
For talking all that shit about my and Carson Beck. I mean, he played really well. It was a great game for him, great game for Miami. And are we ready to say the U is back?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to say anything because I want to see how they do against Ole Miss. But if they make it into the final, I'm totally okay with saying the U is back. I think that if this trend of Carson Beck playing well continues, I think the more pressure you put him under, the brighter his star. If that continues against Ole Miss, I'm willing to accept it.
if V plays well, I think the U will be very much on the way to being back. And I've said this for the past few years. They're on their way. They're starting to figure out. But you don't say a team is back if they don't have a history of winning national titles. So I don't think they can be fully back unless they win a national title, which I think is fair. I'm very negative about Miami, but
I think it's one of those instances where you're like, they're right there. They're just on the cusp. It kind of where Texas was last year. They kind of made a run in the playoffs and then just got beaten badly. And if that happens against Ole Miss, I'll be like, yeah, like you were there, you made it, but like you need either the talent depth or you just need the sheer upfront starters to do so well that we can just, I hate to say this, but like do the eye test and say like, yeah, this is a objectively good team.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't disagree. I still think like,
yeah, you got to win something. Yeah.
So bad for so long. Also, Miami. We need to have a chat about what the hell y'all are doing. First off, I don't respect programs that I'm changing my criteria, Ciarnan, for Miami being back.
Okay.
Winning a natty isn't enough.
Oh.
Winning 2 natties isn't enough.
Oh, really?
Winning 3 natties is not enough.
Geez, you have turned in the last 30 seconds.
No self-respecting program has an off-campus football stadium
yes,
that they share with an NFL team that they aren't the primary owners
of. Okay.
So, like,
I think I get that.
If Hard Rock was the U's stadium that they let the Dolphins use, okay, I'd respect a little more. It's also an hour away from their campus, which is insane.
That's ridiculous.
So that needs to change for the U to be back, for the U to be fully back. Secondly, they need to get rid of Adidas. They need to be a Nike or a Jordan school.
Why?
Nike and Jordan are cooler than Adidas. The U is all about being cool.
I don't know about that one, but okay.
In terms of American football, Adidas is not cool, Ciarnan.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Oh, Penn State's an Adidas school now, aren't they?
Yes. Or they're going to be next year.
Yeah, they just signed it this season.
Sorry, I do realize that sounds like me just hyping up Adidas. I that's not the case. It's not because Penn State just signed a $90 million deal. It's genuinely because I think Adidas jerseys are cool.
It looks wrong on Miami.
I don't agree.
Texas A&M looks fine.
I don't agree.
Penn State, we'll see how it looks, but it looks wrong on the U. Nike and Jordan have a certain swagger to them that the U is all about. Back when you had, was it the 7th floor crew and third leg Greg and all that, like that was cool. That's what the U is about. When their players were getting arrested in the offseason and swept under the rug and then going out and winning natties.
I think we can kind of push aside the Nike versus Adidas, and I think you should go with a brand or something that kind of incorporates elements of Florida or Miami more specifically to the jersey. I think the jersey should be done by Lacoste. Just a little alligator.
I was going to say, Ciarnan, I don't think cocaine manufacturers make jerseys too. We could try. We could try to find one and ask, like, hey, do you want to make football jerseys for the U?
Yeah, seriously.
If anyone knows a cocaine dealer, ask them if they will make football jerseys for the University of Miami Hurricanes.
There you go.
All right. Moving on to the game I don't want to talk about, Ciarnan.
Good.
I don't want to talk about this. Do you want to introduce this game? Because I just don't. I'm done.
Why? Just because it was so bad. Anyway, the Rose Bowl, the pinnacle of them all. The game where Kev was like, Alabama is back. They beat up on Oklahoma. Ty Simpson looked great. No, it was a shit show from top to bottom. Kalen DeBoer looked like he had never coached a football game in his entire life. And Kurt Cignetti was the type of oh, he's drinking. Was the type of guy that beat you up and then made sure you stayed down. It was phenomenal. The other funny thing I thought was funny was when the younger Mendoza came out and the memes all just stated, "Sir, there's a second Mendoza out there." That was great.
Okay, a second Mendoza has hit the tower was hilarious.
It was objectively the funniest thing from that game.
Yeah, I mean, the game sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. The game was awful. It was abysmal. I did handle it well and with class and grace. I did not crash out during it. So I'm proud of myself for that one.
Good.
But I'm just glad I don't have to keep caring about the 2025 Alabama Crimson Tide team.
Oh, so me in week 6.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you got it out of the way early. I had to pretend to care about them way longer. And it was just
an emotional toll.
It was such a flawed team. It's Ty Simpson was great to start the year and then abysmal to finish it. The run game just could never do anything against anyone.
Yeah.
The defense improved as the season went on, but it was bad, really. There were highs. There were some pretty high highs, beating Georgia, beating 4 ranked teams in a row. And then there were some low lows, like losing to Florida State and the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, do I think Kalen DeBoer should be fired? No. He still got you to the playoffs. A lot of the issues that had plagued Alabama last year plagued them again this year. So, I'm curious to see how that gets fixed, how that gets changed. I do think Ryan Grubb needs to be fired because, my God, it's 4th and inches and you're running a wide receiver reverse out of the Wildcat. What are we doing, Ryan? He got too cute with the play calling for a team that wasn't good enough to get cute.
That's a good one.
So, yeah, it was painful. I'm glad. Not glad it's over. I would have liked to have won a natty, but I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. Who knew Joyless Murder Ball was actually fun?
It's not fun for me, Ciarnan.
Well, it's fun for everyone else.
I don't think our sweet baby boy Ty Simpson had fun.
No, he didn't. And that's why he's declared for the NFL draft.
Oh, we'll get into that later. All right. Moving on to the Sugar Bowl. Well, I don't like how they're doing this order.
No, do the Orange Bowl first. We'll do the Orange Bowl first.
Orange Bowl first. I'm going by the ESPN schedule just because I forget the bowl names already.
Okay.
And they have it going Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, even though the Orange Bowl was before the Sugar Bowl. Orange Bowl, Oregon versus Texas Tech. What the hell did Texas Tech's defense do to their offense? Because clearly that entire side of the ball hates the defense.
Yeah, seriously.
The defense played well, and then Baron Morton kept throwing interceptions, fumbling. Running backs kept fumbling. Giving Oregon the ball in perfect field position, and it was gross, and I hated it, and they made me look stupid.
And the only reason Texas Tech lost that game was purely because their offense couldn't produce a single score. Like, if the Texas Tech defense was exhausted by the 4th quarter, which is where they let up all their points. So, you have a traditionally high-flying offense in Oregon coming out of the Pac-12. Granted it's their second year in the Big Ten and all that, but they still have like the air game is where they thrive. And for 2.5 quarters, it was just defense. It was all defense. And it was purely the Oregon defense outlasted the Texas Tech defense. That's the only thing that won Oregon the game. That's it.
Yeah, and I even say though, it's not that the Oregon defense outlasted the Texas Tech defense. It was that the Oregon offense didn't hate the Oregon defense with every fiber of their
Yeah.
being and go, we don't really feel like playing today. So, hey, Oregon, here's the ball at our 15-yard line. Defense, you got this, right?
Yeah. Seriously. And for 2 quarters, they did. That's what I don't understand. It's like you can go into a locker room at halftime, 3-0 and be like, yeah, okay. We have got to figure it out in offense. Defense, I'm not even going to talk to you, right? Go somewhere else. You're chilling, okay? Hydrate, do whatever you need to do. Offense, I would light a fire under them because that was just appalling.
Yeah, it was bad. And also, I'm blaming Baron Morton a lot and Cameron Dickey for fumbling. The offensive line for Texas Tech also looked terrible. Now, part of that, yes, is Oregon's front seven is good, but Baron Morton seemed like he was running for his life a lot, and then also the interceptions didn't help. But yeah, it was bad.
I think I said, "Oh my god, they've turned it over again." I felt like a million times. But but it legitimately felt like that. It was insane.
Yeah. Maybe Brendan Sorsby will be the solution at quarterback, which is wild because Baron Morton was really good all year and then
Just
just
dropped off.
didn't do anything. Kind of like Ty Simpson. All right. The Sugar Bowl, probably the most shocking result.
The most shocking, but
Of
also the most fun to watch.
That's true.
Yes.
I did say going into this game, Trinidad Chambliss was a more dynamic quarterback than Gunnar Stockton. I think that showed throughout this game. I also said Pete Golding was a terrible coach. He didn't know what he was doing, and that did not show in this game. So you win some, you lose some, Ciarnan. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were by halftime, I was like, this is over. Like, Georgia's got this in the bag. It's 21 to 12. Like, there's no shot that they can come back from this. But then to put up 20 in the fourth quarter is insane. Like, it's one of those comebacks that you're like, thank God, because Lane Kiffin gets to watch this from the sidelines. Now, Lane is loving it because it's like, it's his team that he put together, and he's also getting paid for every single win. But it is also like kind of an FU, we can do this without you type situation. So everybody wins.
Yeah, I do think it's funny that he's going to LSU because he's like, they don't have the resources at Ole Miss to win a natty, and now they're one game away from playing in a natty.
Yeah.
Without Lane. So he's hating this, but he's going to take all the credit.
Oh, 100%.
So just awful. But yeah, so there's your quarterfinal recap, Ciarnan. Overall thoughts on the playoffs so far?
Underwhelming. Genuinely underwhelming. I think the Texas Tech Oregon game with the plethora of turnovers was kind of fun to watch because it was a bit of a novelty. The other two games pretty much stunk. As much as it was fun watching Indiana beat the hell out of Alabama,
Belt to ass, yeah.
Yeah, belt to ass. It really wasn't that actually fun as of a game. The only real good game so far has been Ole Miss Georgia. Like the Alabama Oklahoma game was good, but like I could see towards the end of it that Alabama was going to win regardless, and I didn't. It's fine because it was high scoring. It was 34-24, but the Ole Miss Georgia game just was so much better product.
Yeah, that's true. And also it's not continuing the streak because the streak got broken by Indiana, but teams with that first round bye really struggle.
Yeah.
So far in the playoffs. And Indiana is just there.
Yeah. It's everyone else and Indiana.
Yep. But we'll get into our semifinal picks. We're not doing bets that like we have been doing. We're just going to pick the semifinal games. And go from there, but we'll do that in a bit because there's a lot of transfer portal news, Kieran.
Oh my goodness.
We'll start with kind of, I think, the lightest of the news. Trinidad Chambliss is looking to get an NCAA eligibility waiver because he did use up a bunch of eligibility at D2. And if he does get that, he will be returning to Ole Miss. And Kawan Lacey will also be returning to Ole Miss next year. Thoughts on that, Kieran?
What a huge win for Ole Miss, provided Lane Kiffin doesn't try and sneak in and take that extra year of eligibility. But, I mean, the way things are going, no reason not to celebrate.
Yeah, and I think this was a big part of why they gave Pete Golding the reins so quickly and so definitively. He's a guy that the players love. He's a great recruiter. Guys like being around him. And in that was sort of way just to settle the ship, try and keep some of these guys from immediately jumping in the portal to get to LSU or somewhere else. And yeah, so the move's looking like it's working out there. One game away, like I said, from the finals, and they're keeping a lot of their guys in the portal or going in the portal at all. So it's looking like a good move and making a lot of us look like idiots. Now to the more drama-filled portal news. Damon Williams, Kieran, signed a deal with Washington 4 years ago to come back next year with revenue sharing and all that. And then he decided, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go in the portal. And to make matters worse, the entire team was at a celebration of life for a soccer player at Washington who died due to cancer. And that is when he announced he was entering the portal. So not a great look for him. I can overlook reneging on a contract. I don't know if I can overlook just being that big of a scumbag. Washington refuses to put his name in the portal because the school still needs to do that, which makes no sense to me. It's wild. And I don't see why Washington is trying so hard to keep him.
It's a precedent thing. So as far as I'm aware, he signed a legally binding contract to stay at Washington for the next year. And that is a contract that was through Washington, the Big Ten, and himself and or his agent. And if it's the case that he is forced to stay, the negotiating rights of the schools and the conferences gets a lot stronger because that's the precedent that is now set. If he then goes, the precedent is the exact opposite. It's you can just break whatever contract you want because you're technically not an employee and therefore you don't have certain rights. And it's all coming back to this whole NIL thing that has just exploded and has gotten completely out of control. And I can't believe we're still talking about this, but like this was what we kind of foresaw this time last year, or roughly this time last year, with absolutely no checks, no balances, no nothing on NIL deals, and either NIL or revenue sharing through the universities, and it's just become a slippery slope, and you can just do whatever you want. It's insane, really. I mean, if you sign a legally binding contract, to me, that makes you an employee of the university, and therefore you have to honor the terms of the contract, right? That's how it is in the real world, and it's bonkers that we're having these conversations.
The reason why I'm like, why do they still want him is he's going to be a cancer if you force him to stay.
Yeah, he's going to
be miserable. So I feel like the only option would be you have him stay, have him play the 4 games so he loses his redshirt status.
Oh, there you go.
You dismiss him from the team or bury him on the bench.
Yeah, there you go.
And LSU might be in hot water because LSU's already talking to this kid, allegedly. And yeah, it's a disaster through and through. But at the same time, we're going to go through all legal channels to deal with this. The transfer portal's fake. We went over this last year when Nebraska would not let their player hit the portal to go to Miami, so he just unenrolled and re-enrolled at Miami. The transfer portal's fake. There's nothing these schools can do because the NCAA dragged their feet for years on stuff like this, so they've effectively been neutered from any power that they might have had. And it's I'm not against players getting more power within these systems, but it's reaching a point where the players have all the power, which also is not great for the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just wild. I mean, like one of the statistics is like there's 4,000 players currently in the transfer portal. That is absurd. That is absurd. There shouldn't if there's like I don't know, 150 guys, 200, even 500 guys in the portal. I would be like, okay, that's a reasonable-ish number. But 4,000 people 4,000 student athletes, because technically they still are, in the student portal, in the transfer portal, just willy-nilly signing contracts whenever they want and getting away with whatever they feel like it's unchecked power is what it is. And it's absurd.
Yeah, I think I saw something. There's like 136 FBS teams, and there's 133 quarterbacks in the portal too.
Oh boy, jeez, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's not great. So yeah, it's gonna be a disaster. And who could have seen this coming, Kieran?
Well, I
Besides
like
everyone.
besides everyone, and the other thing is, I just really quickly, and I know this is a Penn State thing, and I am biased, but congratulations to the Penn State Cyclones, because because if you haven't seen, they have 18 players from Iowa State have transferred to Penn State with Matt Campbell, former Iowa State head coach, under, and it's just like, okay, so one person is recruiting them, and then they leave, and then everyone just jumps ship.
Yeah. No, it's bad. But moving on to some more portal news, and we're not going to go through every player that hits the portal, by the way. That's
It's too many.
at least the normal ones too. Yeah, like you said, there's 4,000 of them. If they're just hitting the portal, it's fine. I'll make jokes on Twitter about Auburn players hitting the portal, but we're not going to talk about it on the show. But Maguire Richman, a freshman linebacker slash safety for Kansas State, was a 3-star coming in. He was told by the coaching staff that they are releasing him. They're not suggesting he goes to the portal. They are telling him, you're in the portal now, son. And this is the other side of that coin. Schools having all this power is bad either way. And this is just really, really bad.
Yes. It's free agency is what it is. This is now a professional sport. You know, in 2 months we've gone from this is still college football, yeah, kind of, to this is a professional sport now.
We've gone from it still is kind of college to college football is dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
There's no turning back. Pandora's box has been open. It's not going to get better.
No.
Just stop picking players you like. Really, like, don't fall in love with any players at your school because they will hit the portal.
Yeah. If they have an opportunity to move schools to either a better program and or make another $1 million, they will do that. They will. It's not their fault. I mean, they did push for it and they got it, but it is not the individual player's fault. It is the system that is completely broken. That's, you can blame it on the NCAA, frankly.
Yeah, no, it's the NCAA's fault. It's not even Charlie Baker's fault.
No, it's
It's
not.
Mark Emmert's fault, and it's every predecessor to Mark Emmert who dragged their feet on stuff like this, made up the term student athletes, and refused to pay their players, give them any sort of autonomy over themselves. And the fact that for student athletes to get like a better meal plan, you need to have Shabazz Napier in March Madness kind of say like, oh yeah, I go hungry. Like, I don't have enough food. For the NCAA to actually do something really shows you their mindset when it comes to these kids. So like I said, the students now have a lot of the power, which I don't think is great for the sport, but I do think it's better for the people actually risking something on the field than the universities making $1 billion off of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's a happy middle ground that I think again, and I'm not trying to blame the NCAA for everything. Like, I'm not going to blame them for my mom leaving and the Black Death and 9/11, but it reaches a point where they really need to get an adult in the room to have the players need a players association or a union or something, and they need to pick a representative, and that representative needs to sit down with Charlie Baker and go, here's what we'll give up, here's what you'll give up, and I think that's the only way to fix it at this point, Ciarnan, and I think that means college football is officially dead because that is really just a pro league with extra steps.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. It's wild that it's come to this, but this is one of those things.
I feel like we all should have seen it coming.
I mean, we did. Like we certainly, everyone has seen it coming. It's just it's one of the things that you don't want to think about it because it means an end to the nostalgic dream that you had growing up. Watching College Game Day on ESPN at like 9:00 in the morning. It's a crisp fall day. Like that's the nostalgia I have. That's the nostalgia I'm sure thousands of, if not millions of college football fans have. And that dream is dying with each and every week that goes by.
The game was better when the kids were starving and they weren't getting paid. God damn it! Not actually.
It's a horrible way to say that, but it's a horrible way to say that.
That's not the point you're making,
no.
But it needs to be fixed somehow. Someone needs to do something.
Yeah.
Can we get an adult in the room who is not Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
Is my request.
Yeah. We're going to get to a point where like it's going to enter contract negotiations and, players are going to purposely sit out games that they would otherwise be starting. And, they'll even sit out whole years, because somebody will get a waiver of eligibility and somebody will get an unofficial red shirt and things like this. And it's going to get to a point where like star players are, they'll be recruited, right? They'll go to a school, they'll commit to a school, they'll practice, they'll get the starting job. And then they're just going to say, yeah, no, unless you pay me more, I'm going to sit out the whole season. And you're going to have situations where, whether it be fines imposed on players or organizations or whatever, it's just going to be a complete mess.
I'm not a fan of wage suppression. I just want to get that out of the way.
I'm not saying that specifically, but like
this is going to be my next point.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I'm saying I'm not a fan
of
wage
I see. Okay.
But they need to make sure these NIL deals stay under $3 million per year total.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way to combat sort of this, oh, well, I'm not getting the NIL deal I want, I'm going to sit out, is, well, you're going to make 10 times what you could be making on NIL deals once you go to the NFL. And if you sit out in college for a year,
mm-hmm.
NFL team, unless you are a god on the football field, NFL teams will not want to touch you.
Yeah.
So we need wage suppression in college football, which I feel like a dick saying.
But like almost like a necessary evil type situation. Like you don't want it to happen, but it has to for the whole integrity of the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I did find funny though. Someone tweeted this, like, for the second time in history, the South had to start paying people and it ruined their economy. I died laughing when I saw that.
Oh no. That's gold.
It's holding true.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people also suggested sort of you get 5 years, you can transfer once, and then if you do again, you got to sit out a year like you used to.
Yeah.
There needs to be guardrails in place.
Mm-hmm.
Because before it was the NCAA doing whatever they wanted. Now it's the players doing whatever they want. We can all get along, guys. Save college football.
Please,
for the love of God. I don't know what, because if college football goes away, Ciarnan and I would still do a podcast. It would just be me ranting about Euphoria for an hour a week without watching a single episode.
Let us know if you want to see more of that in the off season.
Oh, Kieran, I just got a great idea
No, crap.
for an off-season series.
No, go on.
Euphoria recaps.
Oh, no. I'm not watching it. I don't care.
I'm also not watching it, Kieran. You know why? We're adults.
Yeah.
But yeah, so college football's dead. Euphoria's weird. And all right, moving on to last week's bets, Kieran. This show's just getting weirder and weirder each passing week. So as a reminder, a couple weeks ago, I took Illinois State in the FCS Championship, not forgetting that game was Monday. So they lost. So that's an L for me. I had Bama plus 210 in the Rose Bowl. That's an L for me. I had Iowa plus 5.5. That was right. And I had Ohio State race to 25, and they scored 14 points. So they did not win that race. Next up, Kiernan had Oregon minus 130. That's a win. He had Georgia minus 6.5. That's a win. And he had Ken Seals plus 200 passing yards for TCU. That was also a win. So Kiernan went 2 for 3. I went 1 for 4. And Kiernan's kicking my ass, even though we agreed this was not a competition because we're terrible at betting. But Kiernan, we're going to move on to our semifinal picks. And a little bit of kind of recap on it, or a little preview on it. But Miami versus Ole Miss Thursday at 7:30 in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Miami's a minus 3.5 against the Rebs. I saw some people calling this convicts versus Confederates. Hilarious.
Yeah, great one.
Over under 52.5. Kieran, who do you have in this one?
I really want to say Ole Miss. I really do. It's too good of a story to watch Lane Kiffin's team go to the final without him. So,
yes,
give me Ole Miss.
Okay. I agree. I would like to put a caveat on, not a caveat, but like a disclaimer on this. This is not a rah SEC pick. The rest of those teams can kick rocks for all I care.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit about the rest of the SEC. I hate every other team in my conference. But I hate LSU more than most of them. And like Kieran said, it would be hilarious for Ole Miss to go to the college football playoff national championship game. So I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Now, Kieran, we both said because it'd be funny. Do you actually think Ole Miss is going to win?
I'm not sure. I genuinely don't know. Like this is going to depend on how well Carson Beck plays his first drive. Like it's coming down to that as far as I'm concerned. Ole Miss and Miami by themselves they are good teams, right? They've clearly they are, right? They can win big games. If Carson Beck comes out guns blazing and throws like 2 15+ yard dimes, right, on the first drive, and like their team makes down and scores, Miami wins this game. That's my prediction. Anything other than that, Ole Miss has this.
I'm going to pull a Max Kellerman with Tom Brady by the end of his career. And just if I say it enough, I'm going to be right. Carson Beck masterclass 4-interception game coming down the pipe.
All right. I like it.
No, I do think Miami's really good. Ruben Bain is maybe one of the best edge rushers in the country. Malachi Tony's a phenomenal player. Carson Beck has proved me wrong more times than I can count, but I'm going to be right one of these weeks, Kieran.
Yep. And so this is actually a double for us, because Jared's probably thinking to himself right now, or whenever he listens to this podcast, going, I swear to God, those guys have no faith in Miami, and each time we pick against them, we're wrong. So he's probably thinking right now, oh, brilliant.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's probably happy. He'd probably be pissed if we picked Miami.
Yeah.
But also, I think with how Ole Miss looked against Georgia and Trinidad Champ, you can never count them out.
Exactly.
No lead is safe with Trinidad and Tobago at quarterback for the Ole Miss Rebels. So I'm confident in Ole Miss. Also, yes, it'd be hilarious. Now,
the Big Ten Bowl.
Basically, the Peach Bowl, the Big Ten versus Pac-12 matchup, because I hate what conference realignment has done to our sweet, sweet sport. Indiana is also a -3.5 like Miami, over under 48.5. It's on Friday at 7:30. I don't know how you can watch the Oregon versus Texas Tech game and the Indiana versus Alabama game and go, oh, yeah, Oregon's going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, yes, the Oregon defense did cause those turnovers, but they were gifted some phenomenal field position against Texas Tech. Indiana, I said last week they struggled against Penn State. They've basically dog-walked everyone else. Mendoza is a phenomenal quarterback. Kurt Cignetti is an absolute psychopath. And we did say, or I did say last year, 2 years ago, you either need a cartoon character or a psychopath to win in college football. I think Pete Golding's kind of that cartoonish character we need, and Kurt Cignetti's a psychopath, but so is Dan Lanning. I think Kurt Cignetti's more of a psychopath.
Yep.
So give me the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I can't pick against them. It's got to be Indiana. It's like the defense of Indiana steamrolled Alabama's offensive line, and it's one of those situations where you're just like, there's no downsides to Indiana's game. Like I genuinely could not think of one. Their run game's good, their passing is good, their defense is good. Like Oregon, this is bonkers to me, right? I'm just thinking back. Both of these teams barely beat Penn State. What the heck are we doing? Sorry. I know I shouldn't be bringing that up because Penn State's long gone out of this conversation, but both of these teams struggled against Penn State. So what is happening? I digress. You cannot look at Indiana in this past 8 weeks and go, this is not the best team in the country. This is the team you are rooting for. They are going to make it into the final.
So, and you ask what Penn State's doing. You know what this means, right?
What?
Penn State natty incoming.
I would cry. I would cry tears of joy for a week straight. I would.
That's fair. I would let you miss a podcast to celebrate that week.
I would be drunk the entire week. I'd be gone. It's kidding me.
My work jokes, like whenever Alabama loses, everyone likes saying to me, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be in today."
Yeah.
If Alabama wins another national title, you will not see me the rest of the week because I will be celebrating so much.
You call your boss on the Monday night after the natty. She's gone, yep, not coming in. PTO, don't care. I don't have any left. Don't care. Hang up. Goodbye.
I'd be slurring my words way more than that. But yeah, so there you have it. Kieran and I both agreed. We both have Ole Miss versus Indiana in our national title game.
It's gonna suck when we're both wrong.
Yeah, I'm not ready for an Oregon Miami natty. I will say, Kieran, this is the first time in a while where outside of the top 4 that are left, if any of them win, I will not be upset.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's ones that I would like to win more than others, but I will not be super pissed off if any of them win. And we did this exercise earlier in the playoffs, Kieran. Rank teams based on how much you want to see them win. 1, you want to see them win the most. 4, you don't want to see them win, but you wouldn't be as excited. Rank them.
1 would be Indiana, so I definitely want to see them win. 2, I would like to see Miami. 3, Ole Miss, and 4, Oregon.
That's fair. Mine is similar. except I've wanted Ole Miss just because that'd be hilarious.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
I could not put into words how funny that would be and how much I want that now. Two, a close second would be Indiana.
Mhm.
I think this is the best story in sports right now. Three, Miami. I think it's very funny making fun of Jared that Miami has not really done anything since 2003. And four, Oregon, just because, again, I think it's funny that they have not won one, and I don't want that to change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if they win, I'll be happy for them because they've earned it.
Yeah.
And Dan Lanning seems like a psychopath, but a good psychopath.
Yeah, this is one of those times where you're honestly so thankful that Georgia and or Alabama are not actually, and Ohio State are not back in the playoffs, because you're just like finally like a breath of fresh air. Like, we don't have to go into the final worrying that Ohio State's going to win another one, worrying that Alabama's going to win another one, worrying that Georgia's going to win another one. It's genuinely fresh faces, and one of these teams is going to have the time of their lives. The other ones are going to be horribly disappointed, but very, very proud of themselves that they made it this far and gave us hopefully a good semifinal and final match.
I would like to say, Kieran, I understand what you're saying. I was never worried about Alabama winning a natty. That was always the goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the outside perspective, yeah.
Yeah, from people who aren't just the worst fans on the face of the earth.
Yes, yeah.
Not knocking Alabama fans. I'm knocking myself as a fan. But moving on to some draft news, two big names hitting the NFL draft today: Carnell Tate, wide receiver for Ohio State, and Ty Simpson for Alabama.
Good riddance.
What were your thoughts on those two announcements, and do you think they're the right moves?
I'm not surprised by the announcements, and I do think they are the right moves. I don't think Ty Simpson would benefit from an additional year, and Carnell Tate is good enough to get at worst second round pick, but most likely first round. I don't see how either of them would benefit from an initial year of college.
Yeah, Tate is a first-round pick. I think I don't see any universe where he's not. He has the numbers, he has the tape, and he has the pedigree of being an Ohio State receiver. Ty Simpson, I think he might benefit from another year of college in terms of development. I don't think his draft stock would improve. I think it would do more harm than good. I think he's realistically a second, third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you watched his good games this year, you could talk yourself into taking him in the first round. If you watched the season as a whole, I think a second, third round pick. If you watched the last couple weeks of the season and the Indiana game, yeah, brother, you're a sixth round pick. Get it ready to learn CFL, buddy. But I do think if he goes to the right system and the right team, High Low Sports, we were going back and forth about this on Twitter. They said, like, if he goes to a situation like the Rams, where he's not going to start immediately, he's going to be a backup, he's going to learn from Matt Stafford, that could help him a lot. I think he needs to go to the right system. I think he can be a successful quarterback, but he needs to stop letting teams break him. And I think that will stop. He's done it once, but that would be a concern of mine. I don't want to say mental fortitude, but something going wrong, and he was dealing with injuries a lot in the end of the season. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that will be viewed. But, yeah, so there's the two big draft announcements. I did want to talk about the fact that there's Saban disciples in the last four spots,
Mm-hmm.
Kieran. I forgot to bring it up when we were talking about semifinals, and I saw I have tabs open for the four coaches left. Obviously, all four coaches left did coach under Saban. You had Curt Cignetti, who was a wide receivers coach. You had Dan Lanning, who was a graduate assistant. Mario Cristobal, offensive line coach, and Pete Golding, who was defensive coordinator at Alabama. A lot of people are asking the question, kind of, well, did Alabama make a mistake by not bringing in a Saban guy and bringing in Kalen DeBoer? And Kieran, I'm curious what your thoughts were on that discussion, because I have strong opinions.
I mean, yeah, kind of. Look what's happened. And we were kind of talking about this prior to recording, but like, Dan Lanning's a was a graduate assistant for 1 year. Yeah, but 1 year under Nick Saban is 4 years of equal coaching anywhere else. So, it's one of those things where you're like, Kalen DeBoer at the time might have been the best thing that you could have gotten. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter. But, you look at the results, look at who is in the playoff and who learned from who, and kind of missed opportunity here with not bringing in someone from Saban's era.
I think the concern, I don't think they should have brought in a Saban guy just to bring in a Saban guy. And that any of these 4 coaches, I don't think were available. Pete Golding has said, I didn't want to be a head coach. This sort of happened. Mario Cristobal played at Miami. He wasn't leaving Miami. Dan Lanning had everything he wanted at Oregon, and they weren't going to hire Kurt Cignetti from James Madison.
No.
So that one, they maybe could have gotten done, but they weren't sure. And you saw this when Bear Bryant retired. They brought in Bear Bryant disciples because they were Bear Bryant disciples and not much else. They got lucky with Gene Stallings, but there was a lot of crap in there. And I think they wanted to avoid that mistake of bringing in a guy just because he coached under or played for Nick Saban. I do think going outside was the right move. If next season goes bad and one of these other guys becomes available, bad for Alabama, and one of these guys comes available, another, who knows, AJ McCarron balls out as head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, and you're like, let's give him a shot. I think bringing in a Saban guy would have made sense, but bringing in a Saban guy because he's a Saban guy would have been a terrible idea and would have ended badly. So
would have hurt the legacy rather than helped it.
Yeah, and also, Kalen DeBoer has had to build a lot of this roster back up from scratch. 26 guys at the portal when Saban retired. They got a bunch since. So, yeah, I'm saying give him time. I still say 3 to 4 years for a new coach, even though he is coming right after a great coach who was a great roster builder. A lot of those guys left. He had to get in his own guys. So we'll see what he does in year 3. And please, for the love of God, fire Ryan Grubb.
Perfect.
So, Ciarnan, this is our first episode of the new year, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it is true.
And also, this past November marked 5 years of the podcast. I think I did the first episode solo in December of 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, it's been a while. Any New Year's resolutions?
Off the top of my head, no.
That's fair.
I keep saying that I'm going to help you with the podcast and never do. So I'm like,
yeah, anybody who's ever been Twitter login now.
Yeah, true. I've just been like, anybody who's ever made a New Year's gym resolution, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to start working out, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I have 2 resolutions, Ciarnan.
Okay.
One of them is not working out. I would like to start working out more. I'm not going to call it a resolution. It's just eating healthier, because the comments can only call me fat so many times before I actually start doing something about it. And my second New Year's resolution is I think I'm going to get into Euphoria. I think now's the time.
No.
We're going to start watching. No, it's just the eating healthier thing. And also, I've worked on it towards the end of the year, not crashing out over Alabama football.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
here's a New Year's resolution, because they don't all have to be good. I'm going to start crashing out much more about Penn State. If they don't get it in gear.
If they don't immediately turn things around.
It's natty or bust, Matt Campbell. It's natty or bust.
Guys, seriously, Ciarnan's marriage will not survive him crashing out more over Penn State football. Actually, it might, because your wife's also a Penn State fan.
Yeah, we're both alum, so.
Maybe it'll bring you guys closer together.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, so do you have, if you listener or watcher, if you're just listening on podcast, thank you. You can also check out the Bell of Sports YouTube to watch us there. If you're just watching us, you can also go check us out on your podcast platform of choice for your car rides to and from work. Unless you're working remote, then, I don't know, put it on while making dinner or something. Follow us at Quad Tailgate on all social media platforms, and let us know kind of your New Year's resolution, either college football related or not. could be Euphoria related. If it is Euphoria related, please have it be I'm not watching Euphoria anymore. Ciarnan, why am I talking about Euphoria so much today?
I don't know. It's a legitimate concern at this point.
I'm concerned.
We're gonna have a meeting with HR, and the HR is me after this. After we stop recording.
That's fair. All right. Well, everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your week and weekend. And yeah, Ciarnan, it's almost at the end.
I know. Enjoy the last couple games while they last, because it's in a couple of months before we see football again.
Yeah, they should really do full time what they did during COVID. FBS in the fall, FBS in the spring.
Oh God,
that was peak. What a time to be alive. All right. Bye.
See ya.
They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the dogs.
You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out. Oh,
God, that's going to be part of our intro next year. Oh,